From the high-definition educational broadcast center at Bergen Community College's main campus in Paramus, this is Studio Bergen. Hi everyone, I'm Larry Levanka, and welcome to Studio Bergen, your connection to the state's largest community college. We're back in studio this month with a whole new set for our new season, thanks to the great crew I work with on this program. So kudos to them for their hard work. In our top story this month, we go back to the end of summer when more than 100 Bergen Community College students, faculty, staff, and guests gathered to witness the groundbreaking of the $26 million Health Professions Integrated Teaching Center at the school's main campus. Joined by a bevy of Bergen County and state officials, college administrators donned hard hats and shovels to ceremonially mark the start of construction on the three-story, 65,000 square foot facility. Construction is expected to take about 2 years. The building represents the college's capital improvement project as part of the $750 million Building Our Future Bond Act, which was approved by New Jersey voters in the November 2012 elections. All Bond Act projects must expand a school's academic capacity and have a direct impact on student instruction. Chair of the college's Board of Trustees, E. Carter Carsten, said the project comes at the right time.
Given the attention that we now place on healthcare and considering the growing job market, this building helps continue Bergen's mission of providing academic programs that not only serve the community, but prepares our graduates for careers in fields demanding professional employees.
Currently, more than 1,000 students enroll in health professions programs such as dental hygiene, radiography, and nursing at Bergen. The college offers 9 degree and certificate programs and 9 non-credit certificate programs as part of its Division of Health Professions. It's those graduates who will continue to make an impact in their community, according to Bergen President Dr. B.K. Walter.
For as has been the case for the last 45 years throughout Bergen County, it will be our graduates who perform the first ultrasounds for new mothers, our graduates who tend to us in the emergency rooms, and our graduates who keep our teeth nice and white like People magazine pictures.
The center will include 26 classrooms and laboratories, including medical sim and computer labs. Additionally, the center will feature a ground floor dental hygiene clinic, a laboratory for Bergen students as they work toward their associate in applied science degrees. The clinic offers low-cost preventive oral health care for the community and has hosted free oral cancer screenings and prophylaxis for children in the past. Meanwhile, last month also marked the first day of classes at Bergen's main campus in Paramus, September 3rd. I hope you watched the live episode of this program, which aired from the Student Center. Approximately 5,000 new students and 11,000 continuing students returned to campus. Flexible start dates for the fall semester continued at Bergen Community College at the Meadowlands, September 25th, and another slate of classes begins October 30th at the main campus and Philip J. Ciarco Jr. Learning Center in Hackensack. To register for any of these classes, visit my.bergen.edu. With classes underway, the myriad events hosted by organizations such as the Office of Student Life also kicked off last month. One of the biggest was Club Day. Over the course of 2 days at main campus, students had an opportunity to sign up for academic, hobby, and service groups that fit their interests. Depending on the semester, the college has more than 50 clubs. With the new semester also come a variety of celebrations, including the start of the college's annual Latino Heritage Month. Serving as the keynote speaker at this year's event, national correspondent for Telemundo, Asoldo Peguero, discussed diversity and how it is a strength.
We all come in different shapes, form, and that's part of our uniqueness. And we have to embrace our uniqueness because it's what makes us different and also makes us special. And it is part of our contribution to this great nation of immigrants that sometimes we agree with, disagree with, but it's kind of a love-and-hate relationship. But after all, this is home. This is what God has brought us all, and we're here with a purpose.
We'll cover some of the other highlights from the month in next month's episode. The fall semester also marks the first time the college will operate under a new strategic plan. With a work group of Bergen faculty, staff, and students serving as the architects, the college's strategic plan, a blueprint for the next 5 years, earned final approval from the Board of Trustees over the summer. The plan outlines 4 strategic themes for Bergen: student success and excellence, faculty and staff success and excellence, commitment to Bergen County, and institutional building. Each theme contains a number of goals that will result in action items for college officials to develop and execute in response. They include increasing course completion, retention, transfer, and graduation rates, enhancing and expanding programs to serve the education and workforce development needs of Bergen County, and increasing professional development opportunities for employees. The plan took shape based on input from internal and external stakeholders. To read the full plan, visit tiny.cc/BergenPlan. If this is your first episode with us on Studio Bergen, I guess I can say thanks for watching. But our next segment recurs each month as we profile a member of the college's stellar faculty. In this month's edition of Faculty Focus, we talked with Professor Paula Williams, who joined Bergen in 1994 after past positions with Jamaica's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the State University of New York at Buffalo, the H.W. Wilson Company, and Fairleigh Dickinson University. For students, navigating that first research paper can present some challenges, especially in a digital age. But that's where the Sidney Silverman Library's faculty, like Paula Williams, save the day.
They will come in with a misconception that, oh, I can Google it. Unfortunately, that can be a bit of a problem because some of our instructors do not want them using the internet. So if they restrict the use of the internet, that's a problem. Where do they go from there? I've had students come in for classes and they'll say, oh my God, I didn't know that this existed. I wish I'd known this before. I wish I'd known this in high school or when I did my other classes. But we point out all the different resources that they can use that will really give them the advantage in writing their assignments.
Thanks to Bergen's library faculty, students have an opportunity to attend classes that organize material in any subject.
We all teach different subjects. We have subject liaison responsibilities. For example, I'm the subject liaison for information technology, business, accounting, philosophy, and religion. So typically, when our business students come in, for example, they're working on projects, for example, setting up a business. So my classes would focus on looking at the business that they're trying to set up, what kind of information they need to write that business plan. So they would look at industry surveys and reports. They would look at what companies exist in that area for now. They would look at location, because that's very important in terms of when someone's setting up a business, where exactly they're going to set that up, the marketing plan, things like that. So we would teach them how to find that type of information.
You'd probably think the digital age would spell the end of traditional stacks in a library, but professors like Williams say, not so fast.
I went to library school back in the 80s, and way back then they talked about the digital age, the paperless society, how books were going to disappear, papers were going to disappear in 10 years. Well, it's been, 30 years later? And we still have a number of books on the shelves. Students and faculty members alike and the public are using books as much as they did before. Granted, they use the computer quite a bit. When I first went to library school, computers were just being used in education and in businesses. So there was very little use in libraries. Now they're a mainstay in libraries. However, they complement each other.
The point is, though, just like in any other class, Williams is there to help students navigate their learning, no matter what path that takes.
Some information only exists in book format. Some only exist in online format. So we do have to focus on both, not focus on one or the other, but we do have to focus on where the information is and the access to it. We have to teach people how to gain access to that, not to prefer one format over the other, but to look for the most appropriate information to match their information needs. That's our goal here, to really serve people's information needs.
Williams, who completed a mid-career fellowship at Princeton University, said the important point to remember for those in education, in the library, classroom, or administration, is the idea of a seamless educational journey that supports student needs.
Some time ago, I read an article about someone who was warning about the gaps in education, and they likened that to a sign that they had seen in the subway some time ago that warned about a gap between the platforms. And the sign said, "Danger, beware of the gap." And I likened that to what's going on with the perceptions between faculty and administrators and students. Because if our perceptions and expectations differ, and we make very little effort or no effort to meet that need, we're going to have some dangerous situations there. We're going to have some serious repercussions in terms of not just our enrollment, but our failure as educational institutions to meet those needs.
Also, during the last few months, in a pilot program, 24 high school students preparing for entry into the college participated in the Summer Intensive, a daily 5-week course that featured discussions on goal setting, using Bergen's technology, and acclimating to the pressures of college study. As part of the program, students toured the campus, met with faculty, and registered for fall classes before a send-off musical performance led by the students. Longtime Bergen faculty member and current executive assistant to the president, Dr. Ursula Parrish-Daniels, who helped lead the program, discussed the importance of the initiative at the closing event. Coming up after a short break, we'll have more news from the college and speak with Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Bill Meany, in studio. We'll be right back.
True definition of hero. And being a hero took a heroic effort.
Every day we bring to our fans the world of sports. We speak of heroes and heroism, but there are days when sports matter little and heroes matter more. These heroes don't hit walk-off homers or buzzer-beating threes. They simply made a plan for what to do when disaster strikes. You never know when you might need to be the hero, because you never know if today is the day before a natural disaster. Prepare, plan, be a hero. Visit ready.gov.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
7,000 students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. Keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
Welcome back to Studio Bergen. I'm Larry Levanka. Since the last time this program aired, the college added a new member to its governing panel, the Board of Trustees. Scott E. Rixford, who serves as the interim executive county superintendent for both Bergen and Passaic counties, officially joined last month. Mr. Rixford earned his BA from the University of Miami and a Master's of Education from Rutgers University. He holds certificates as Chief School Administrator, Superintendent, Principal, Supervisor, and a variety of teaching credentials in New Jersey, as well as with other states. Mr. Rixford and other members of the Board of Trustees were in attendance September 10th for the college's periodic community networking luncheon, the Quarterly Connection. At the event, held for the first time at the main campus, a panel of state legislators and Bergen officials led a wide-ranging discussion on education. The Legislative Forum on Higher Education Initiatives provided an opportunity for the more than 100 guests in attendance to hear the panelists' views on topics such as student success and affordability. District 38 Assemblyman Timothy Eustace said one of the keys to better education is better preparation.
One of the problems in colleges, and I've seen this at Ramapo College, and we spoke about this here, is kids are unprepared for college when they arrive at college, so you spend the first year basically completing high school, or even in some respects completing grammar school. So what we need to do is lay the foundation so there is room for completion on the other end.
On a more somber note, the college community gathered September 11th to mark the 12th anniversary of the terrorist attacks in New York, Washington, and Pennsylvania. Students, faculty, and staff gathered in the Student Center to pay tribute as personal counselor John Giamo led the memorial, offering words of peace.
On a day like today, it's really hard for this person who's not usually at a loss for words to articulate the meaning of what this day was to those of us who were here, not only those of us who were here, but those who were touched by this tragic loss.
Of course, after 9/11, a call to service rang out across the nation that many answered. The call remains to this day. In that spirit, the college hosted its second Day of Service and Community to provide all Bergen faculty and staff the opportunity to learn about emerging issues in higher education and giving back. Individuals such as Drs. Kay and Byron McClenny, educational leadership experts, and members of the Bergen community led discussions. Turning our attention to the busy campus calendar this month, the Anna Maria Saccone Theater's Curtain Up series is now underway. Actress Allie Stroker, presented by the College Club of Ridgewood, will visit October 1st at 1:30 p.m. The next night, guitarist Gary Lucas will play at 7:30 p.m. And in the following week, vocalist Christina Fontanelli will take the stage October 11th at 7:30 p.m. And finally, Peter Yarrow of Peter, Paul, and Mary will be here October 18th at 7:30 p.m. The students of the college's theater program will present Blythe Spirit at the end of the month and the beginning of next in the Ender Hall Lab Theater. To buy tickets to any of those events, please visit tickets.bergen.edu. Also beginning this month is Sandy. Artists respond to a once and future superstorm in Gallery Bergen, West Hall at the main campus. Welcome to our in-studio segment this month and the debut for this year. Today we welcome the college's Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Bill Meany, to the set. Welcome, Dr. Meany.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thanks for being here. In a way, it's kind of a welcome to Bergen Community College, too. You've been here less than a year.
Right.
You're still kind of getting your feet wet, but how's that kind of first year been here at Bergen?
Well, Larry, it's been quite a whirlwind.
Yeah.
As you know, I sort of jumped in mid-March and just got quickly involved in all the end of the semester activities. It was wonderful being part of the pinning ceremonies, the award ceremonies, and of course graduation, which was unlike anything I'd seen before. Then I thought things would settle down during the summer, but they didn't. It was quite a busy summer, and then just having recently experienced the fall kickoff, which was, again, unlike anything I've seen before in terms of the sheer number of students and the activity that went on here at Bergen.
We'll talk about kind of your experience in higher education a little bit down the road, but let's talk about your career. How'd you start out? Where'd you go to school? And why enter higher education?
Sure. Well, I did my bachelor's degree at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville. After graduating college, went back to New York. I grew up on Long Island, and got a job working for McGraw-Hill Book Company as an editorial assistant and then as a college book rep. It was at that point that I realized I didn't want to be at a college campus selling books. I wanted to be studying. So I returned to graduate school, and I had the always had the California allure in my head, and decided that I wanted to go to California for graduate school. So I enrolled at the University of California, San Diego for my master's program. And that's where I began teaching for the first time as a TA in an American literature course. I got the teaching bug, and I realized that was really my calling. After I finished my master's degree, I wanted to continue on for my doctorate, and once again was always had the allure of New Orleans in my mind. So moved to New Orleans to start the PhD program at Tulane University, and got my PhD in English. Continued teaching, and just really knew I was in the right profession at that point.
So you've kind of been a traveler of the U.S.
Yeah, I say I used my education to see the country. Yeah. So.
You grew up originally in the Northeast, as you said, on Long Island. Was it a goal eventually to kind of make your way back here, or do you kind of did you have that mindset the whole time that you wanted to see the country?
It wasn't an original goal. When my wife and I were living in New York, and I was working on my dissertation, and she got this job opportunity for us to move out to the Phoenix area. I was mobile, and we decided we wanted to give it a shot for a few years. And what was so important about that move was that was where I got my first exposure to community colleges. I started teaching community colleges, so now at that point I knew that I not only had my profession, but I also had my home at that point. And although we had originally planned to be there for only about 5 years or so, that turned into 14 years as a couple of kids came along. But when I was interested in making the move from dean to vice president, I was really looking to looking to return east, be closer to family.
But before we talk about kind of what it is like to be an administrator at a college, let's talk about some of your work as a dean in the Southwest. It was at Maricopa Community College?
Yeah, it was the Maricopa Community College District. It's one of the largest in the country, made up of 10 colleges. So the college I worked at was Chandler Gilbert Community College in the southeast, sort of a southeast suburb of Phoenix. And started off as an English faculty member there, and then became a department chair and Dean of Arts and Sciences before I left. Got very involved in student success as a dean.
Very popular topic in colleges as a whole right now, talking about student success.
Absolutely. Where we just began to learn how important it was for academic affairs and student affairs working together on things like orientation, on things like a student success class. We launched the first mandatory student success class at the college that went very well. Got very involved in organizations like SESI and SENSE, which are assessment groups that are really trying to move the needle in terms of things like graduation rates, student retention, student persistence.
And I assume those are some of the things that you're going to try and bring here too, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Sure. Drawing on the experiences of whether it be Long Island, whether it be California, whether it be Louisiana, Arizona, education, is it one size fits all no matter where you are in this country, or is it regionalized? Are things different no matter where you are?
The more that I'm in the profession, the more I think that community college students are community college students no matter where you are. The thing that when I started teaching in the community college, I was just so amazed how complicated their lives are. Often, carrying a full-time job, taking care of a family, and then trying to go to school full or part-time. It's just, I was just amazed at how they were able to juggle all those things. And I mean, so a lot of the issues that I saw in California, in Arizona, I'm seeing here as well. So I don't think, I think that, a lot of the issues that we're facing here, colleges across the country are facing.
That said, has there been maybe one or two things that were very different in Arizona compared with New Jersey?
Yeah, I think in thinking about that, given the fact that most of the community colleges out there are younger, established later than back east, there seems to be things are less ingrained out there. So I found that it was fairly easy to propose ideas that were accepted. Whereas here, I think it's just all in the Northeast. Schools have been around for a long time. Traditions are ingrained. So I just found out that their faculty employees are much willing to try new things because things haven't been established for such a long period. So.
Very interesting. So let's kind of turn the attention now to coming to Bergen Community College. You said that obviously you wanted to see family, wanted to be a little bit closer to family, you wanted to make the jump to the administration. you're here now at Bergen. What are you trying to do as the academic vice president?
Well, I think there are a couple of things. First of all, one of the things that really appealed to me here was the quality of the faculty, the caliber of the faculty. The number of faculty with PhDs from really outstanding institutions. As I got here, the things that I saw faculty are doing in terms of service learning, active learning, collaborative learning, all these things that I really believe are at the essence of what community colleges should do. So I really wanted to work with the talented faculty here to move a couple of things forward. I mean, I think that given how talented faculty are, we can really improve our graduation rates here. I think that one of my true passions is working with developmental students. I think that we can improve how we help our developmental students get up to college level and then achieve their dreams. And then I think the third major goal that I really want to focus a lot of my attention and energies on is faculty development. It's so critical that faculty stay current in their field, that they stay engaged, and I want to do everything I can to help that development.
Let's have a brief conversation here about grad rates. Everybody talks, it's a number, right?
Yeah,
so it's a ranking system. People can look at it and say, okay, this is how Bergen stacks up. Community college grad rates are not great, and especially in New Jersey. A lot of that is because students come in for one class and then they leave, they transfer. They're not staying in maybe career programs where they're here to get a certificate or to get a degree and enter a career, so they don't finish these programs, and that hurts our grad rate. How do you feel about that, about what we can do to raise that graduation rate? And that said, we're never going to be 100%. That's just not realistic.
Right. I mean, I think that how that rate is calculated works to our disadvantage. So I think that if we do a better job of sort of documenting student intent when they show up at our doors, we can really prove that we're doing better than the numbers would indicate. But that being said, I do think we can do a lot better in terms of helping students graduate, because I think if you look at the intent that students indicate, a lot of them do want to complete a degree and transfer. One sometimes both. So I think that we can, by doing things like giving students a much clearer pathway to degrees, to completion, that will help our numbers. So I mean. If you understand
it makes sense. It does. I guess as we're starting to wrap up here, if there's one thing that you mentioned three that maybe you're gonna look at as a VP, but if there's one thing that you want to focus on, or one thing that you want to accomplish within the next year or so, what do you think that thing is?
Well, I think maybe the first two are focusing, moving the needle on graduation and developmental students. Are maybe long term, but I think that what I'm focusing a lot of my energies on right now is developmental students, where I sort of champion the doubling of the Math Hub, which is specifically designed to serve them, working closely with our Title V grant, which is about focus on underprepared students. So I think that's where, at least for the coming year, I'd really like to focus my energy helping underprepared students at Bergen become more prepared, and helping the faculty do that. And
I think that kind of the intent there is maybe to, if you build a stronger foundation, obviously these students will have an easier time throughout their college career, and they'll move through the system here, and as they transfer to other schools.
Exactly.
So Bill, thanks for coming down here today for season 3, episode 2 of Studio Bergen. That's all the time we have for this month. Be sure to come back in November as we look at everything going on here at Bergen Community College. Thanks for watching. Thanks, and take care.